a hermeneutic phenomenological reflection on how a birthday should be celebrated. A birthday is commonly understood as a celebration of the day we entered the world. We gather with family and friends, light candles, share food, receive greetings, open gifts, and take photographs. The day seems to say, "Today is about me." But perhaps when we pause long enough to reflect, we discover that a birthday is not really about one person alone. A birthday is an encounter with the mystery of existence. It is a moment when we become conscious of time, of life, of relationships, of gratitude, and eventually of our own mortality. Another year has passed. We are not exactly the same person we were when the previous birthday arrived. We have accumulated experiences, losses, victories, mistakes, relationships, memories, and perhaps a deeper understanding of who we are. Thus, to celebrate a birthday is not merely to celebrate getting older. It is to ask, what does it mean that I am here? And perhaps an even more profound question follows. Who made it possible for me to be here? A birthday begins. Before the birthday, we often think that our life began on the day we were born. Phenomenologically, however, birth is only the moment when our existence became visible to the world. Before that moment, there was already a story unfolding. There was a mother. There was a body carrying another body. There was waiting. There was uncertainty. There was hope. There was sacrifice. There was a woman who chose to carry us and bring us into the world. Before we could make a single decision for ourselves, someone else had already made room for us in her life. This realization transforms the meaning of a birthday. My birthday is not simply the anniversary of my arrival. It is also the anniversary of my mother's willingness to bring me here. In this sense, every birthday is also a thanksgiving to a mother. The gift we never asked for. We did not ask to be born. No child stands before birth and chooses existence. Life comes to us before we can consent to it, understand it, or appreciate it. This is one of the deepest paradoxes of human existence. We spend much of our lives making choices, yet the most fundamental fact of our lives was given to us before we were capable of choosing anything. We were given existence. We were given a body. We were given a name. We were given a family, a history, a language, a culture, and a world into which we suddenly found ourselves thrown. The philosopher Martin Heidegger described human existence as being thrown into the world. We do not choose the circumstances of our beginning. We simply find ourselves already here. But phenomenological reflection invites us to look again at that mysterious being here. Someone carried us here. Someone endured the uncertainty of pregnancy. Someone experienced the pain of childbirth. Someone held us when we could not hold ourselves. Someone loved us before we were capable of returning that love. And that someone was our mother. The hidden sacrifice behind every birthday. A birthday celebration can easily conceal the sacrifice that made it possible. We see the cake, but not the pregnancy. We hear the singing, but not the cries of childbirth. We open the gifts, but may forget the first gift that was ever given to us, life itself. We take photographs of the celebration, but we cannot photograph the countless sacrifices that preceded it. Our mothers gave before we understood what giving meant. They cared before we knew how to care. They worried before we knew what worry was. They loved before we even knew the word love. And so, perhaps one of the most philosophical realizations of growing older is discovering that many of life's greatest gifts were given to us when we were too young to recognize their value. The older we become, the more capable we are of looking backward with understanding. We begin to interpret our own beginning. That is the hermeneutic dimension of a birthday. We reinterpret the meaning of our existence in light of everything we have experienced, from celebration to gratitude. When we are young, a birthday is primarily about receiving. We look forward to gifts. As we grow older, however, the meaning of celebration can change. We begin to understand that the greatest gifts cannot be wrapped. Health, family, friendship, faith, forgiveness, time, presence, and life itself. The question gradually changes from, what will I receive on my birthday, to what have I been given, and eventually, what will I do with what I have been given? This is perhaps the movement from childhood to wisdom. The immature person counts birthdays, the reflective person counts blessings. The wise person asks whether the years have been used well. A birthday is not a competition. Modern culture sometimes turns birthdays into performances. The larger the party, the greater the celebration. The more expensive the restaurant, the more memorable the occasion. The more photographs posted online, the more visible the celebration. But existence does not become more meaningful because it becomes more impressive. A simple meal with family can contain more meaning than an extravagant party. A quiet conversation can be more precious than a room full of people. A prayer of thanksgiving can be more profound than 100 social media greetings. A birthday does not need to impress the world. It needs to remind us of what truly matters. Perhaps the most beautiful birthday celebration is one in which we become more conscious of the people who have made our lives meaningful. A birthday is a time to remember. Birthdays are also encounters with memory. We remember our childhood. We remember our parents. We remember friends who have remained and friends who have gone. We remember places that no longer exist in the same way. We remember people whose voices we can no longer hear. For some, birthdays become bittersweet because the people who once celebrated with us are no longer here. Yet memory itself is a form of presence. When we remember someone with gratitude, they continue to participate in the meaning of our lives. For those whose mothers have already passed away, a birthday may therefore become a quiet act of remembrance. We may no longer be able to say, "Thank you, Mom," face to face, but we can say it through the way we live. We can honor her by making something meaningful out of the life she helped bring into the world. A birthday is an opportunity for reconciliation. Another year also reminds us that time is limited. This realization should make us less interested in holding grudges. There are things that need to be forgiven, words that need to be apologized for, relationships that deserve another chance, and sometimes people we simply need to release from our anger. A birthday can become an invitation to reconciliation, not because every relationship can be restored, but because carrying resentment into another year is sometimes a burden we no longer need. The birthday question becomes, what should I stop carrying into the next year of my life? Perhaps it is anger, perhaps pride, perhaps regret, perhaps an old wound, perhaps need to be right. To celebrate another year of life while refusing to let go of what destroys our peace would be a strange contradiction. A birthday is a time to give back. Eventually, the meaning of life shifts from receiving to giving. As children, we receive almost everything. As adults, we become responsible for giving. We give our time, we give our knowledge, we give our love, we give our forgiveness, we give our service. We give ourselves to the people entrusted to us. And perhaps this is why birthdays become more meaningful as we grow older. We begin to understand that the purpose of receiving life is not merely to possess it. Life becomes meaningful when it becomes a gift to others. Our mothers gave us life. The question now becomes, what are we giving back to life? A birthday is a time to begin again. Every birthday carries a quiet invitation to begin again. The past cannot be rewritten, but it can be reinterpreted. Failures can become lessons, losses can become wisdom, mistakes can become opportunities for humility, pain can deepen compassion, and time can become a teacher. A birthday does not promise that the next year will be easier. It simply reminds us that another year has been entrusted to us, and that is enough. We do not need to transform our entire lives in one day. Perhaps we simply need to become a little more grateful, a little more forgiving, a little more generous, and a little more present to the people we love. The birthday of the mother. There is another beautiful way to understand a birthday. The day we were born was also the day our mother entered a new existence. Before that day, she was simply a woman. After that day, she became our mother. Our birth changed her life. Our first breath became part of her story. Our first cry became a sound she would never forget. Our existence created a new relationship that neither of us could fully understand at the beginning. Therefore, perhaps every birthday should include two celebrations. The first is the celebration of the person who was born. The second is the thanksgiving for the person who gave birth. Our birthday is, in a mysterious sense, our mother's birthday as a mother. And perhaps this is why, as we grow older, the first person we should remember on our birthday is not necessarily ourselves. It is the woman who carried us when we were incapable of carrying ourselves. The meaning of the candle. Perhaps the birthday candle can become a symbol of this entire reflection. We light a candle because we remember the light of life. We place it on a cake because we celebrate the gift we have received. But before we blow it out, perhaps we should pause. Look at the flame. Look at the people gathered around us. Remember the years behind us. Remember the mother who carried us. Remember those who loved us. Remember those who are no longer here. Remember the mistakes. Remember the blessings. And then ask, if this candle represents another year of my life, what will I do with its light? Because the candle will eventually go out, so will our lives. This is not meant to make a birthday sad. It is what makes it sacred. The awareness that life is temporary gives meaning to the present moment. How then should a birthday be celebrated? Perhaps a birthday should be celebrated with joy, but also with gratitude, with laughter, but also with remembrance, with gifts, but also with giving, with family, but also with reconciliation, with photographs, but also with presents, with food, but also with sharing, with celebration, but also with prayer, and above all, with an awareness that life itself is a gift. Perhaps before cutting the cake, we should thank our mother. If she is still alive, we can embrace her. We can call her. We can say, "Ma, today is my birthday, but it is also a day to thank you. Thank you for carrying me. Thank you for choosing to bring me into this world. Thank you for giving me the first and greatest gift I have ever received, life." And if she is no longer with us, we can whisper the same words into the silence. "Thank you, Ma." Then perhaps we can turn toward the people who are still with us and say, "Thank you for being part of my life." And finally, we can turn inward and ask, "What will I do with this life that has been given to me?" That perhaps is the deepest question of a birthday. Not how old I am, not how much I have, not how grand my celebration is, but whether I am becoming the kind of person worthy of the gift of life I have received. Because a birthday is not simply the celebration of having lived another year. It is a thanksgiving for having been given life, a remembrance of those who made that life possible, and a renewed commitment to make that life meaningful. And perhaps at the deepest level, a birthday is not a celebration of the self at all. It is an act of gratitude. Gratitude to God for the gift of existence. Gratitude to the mother who carried us into existence. Gratitude to the people who accompanied us. Gratitude for the joys and sorrows that shaped us. And gratitude for the mysterious privilege of being alive. I was born once, but every birthday gives me another opportunity to be born again into gratitude, wisdom, love, and purpose.